Gini Dietrich, are you ready to fearlessly question a good idea?
Assuming it's a good idea, I am.
All right, already. I like it. Gloves are off. You are already started, and we're in a good place. So we're going to do something very new. This is the first time we've ever done this, so I'm not quite sure how it's going to look, but we're going to just kind of roll with it here. So I'm going to
Okay.
tell you an idea, a business idea, and the goal is to just kind of put good ideas out there. Whether, anybody wants to act on them, God bless. So the idea is just to get better ideas out there and see what people might want to be able to do with them. And this is probably the best idea. So I've saved the best for you, the first one. So
Awesome. Thank
this is the
you.
best idea I have. And I don't know if it's crazy or not. I just want to feel if this thing in my head is actually crazy or not crazy. So I'm going to leave it up to you to crush my dreams or make me feel better about myself. So no pressure.
All right. Got it.
The idea that we're going to be talking about today is automated food delivery. I'm going to let you start by asking like whatever first initial questions you have just by me saying that.
What do you mean by automated?
Meaning that the idea would be to entirely replace the time that you spend gathering and bringing food back to your home.
So it's grocery shopping and meal prep, or just grocery shopping?
Grocery shopping initially, meal prep would come in, like, let's call it phase 2. So do you have Peapod in Chicago?
Yep.
That's a food delivery. Do you use that? Have you ever used it?
I used to. I don't anymore, but yeah.
So like, let's think Peapod meets Blue Apron. Are you familiar with Blue Apron?
Yep.
So Blue Apron, I think the challenge there is that people don't do it because the recipes are very limited. So you're going to have it's like, I like it or I don't. And that's going to basically determine, or you're going to have somebody that's, I'm willing to try anything. So it's going to limit the person that would be able to actually want to buy the service. Now think of this service as, all right, I'm going to be able to give you all of your food, which is obviously difficult in itself. But then if you wanted to, let's say, click a button and say recipe it, and say, give me recipes for the week for all the stuff that I've put in my cart. You could maybe do that. But that, again, that's, I think, a little trickier and would probably not be initiated until we'll call it phase 2. But the first goal is to be able to, okay, I put something in my pantry, I take it out, it's automatically reordered for me, and then it shows up on my door when I need it.
Okay, so how does it differ from a Peapod or an Amazon or any of those other delivery?
Well, one, because you actually have to remember to do it. So you actually have to go on to Amazon and place the order, right?
Create your list. Yep.
Right. And how many times are you putting together a meal and you forgot something?
Often.
And you didn't realize that you were out or whatever. So this would be, so basically there's a piece of tech that would need to be developed first. And that tech would be to monitor I'm assuming you would need, just to guess, I'm not an engineer of any sort of degree, but you would need a camera, like a scale, and maybe like a barcode reader kind of installed into your pantry and or refrigerator. So it's like, again, like, this is not like simple. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this isn't going to work, but I'm feeling
so
like
it's like that Amazon, what are they calling it? The dash or something that you put on the washer, and when your laundry detergent's out, you push
that's the Amazon button, right? But see, I think that's short-sighted on Amazon's part, though, because I mean, it's only for one thing. They're only
right. Yeah, I mean, if you're out of laundry detergent, you push the button, they deliver it.
Right. So you can't have a button for everything in your house.
No.
So if you could then just sense or scan so like, this could be under your kitchen sink, whatever, if you can see how much is left of something. And I mean, Walmart does this. You can create algorithms that can predict after an amount of usage that how long it's going to take you to reorder something, and then you could have it set as, this is a one-off item, I'm only going to need this, I don't buy this regularly, so I just want it one time. Or this is a reorder item. I'm assuming if you're anything like my family, you make a lot of the same meals over and over again.
Sure. All right, so it sits in your pantry and it says, oh, you normally go through 5 cans of corn in a month and you're down to 2, so we're going to go ahead and reorder this for you.
Right.
So I don't have to create the shopping list.
Right.
I don't have to go to the grocery store.
No.
Both big pluses in my mind.
So this is all based around the concept of selling people's time back to them, as Gary Vaynerchuk likes to say.
So you have to figure out the tech piece of it, because I don't know how that would work. Because what I'm thinking is, like, I have a cupboard just with spices in it because I use a ton of spices. I ran out of black peppercorns the other day, so I just checked it on my list of things I have to pick up. So it would automatically know that I need black peppercorns.
Right. And so all you'd have is, let's just call it an app on your phone that it's going to have you give like a list and like just basically approve the reorder and say, these are the things that are coming to your door 2 days from now. Because the biggest challenge, and this is, if you look at, so there's like Peapod in Chicago, there's Fresh Direct, which is primarily in New York, I believe.
Yep.
They're all based on, hey, we're going to get this food to you really fast. But they're spending probably tons and tons of money unnecessarily, because if you already know that it's needed, then the speed of delivery is irrelevant.
The speed of delivery, it can be irrelevant, but I think the bigger issue is, I mean, where I spend all of my time is doing the meal prep and creating the grocery list from that. So saying, okay, here's what we're going to have this week. Here's everything I need, create the list. And then like we have Instacart here, so I can just throw my list into Instacart and it will deliver the groceries for me. That's
Right.
not what I need. I need, as a consumer, as a, you know, a person who works full time and has a family and is, you know, doing all that, I need help with the figuring out what the recipes are going to be for the week and what groceries I need in order to achieve that.
Right. So in the first initial phase, think of how Netflix started, right? So you would offer API access to Instacart and Fresh Direct and Peapod. So anybody that's already using those services, just plug your tech right into it, and it's automatically going to reorder from your established services. Once the business then gets big enough, then you'd be able to then probably sell your own food directly.
Could you open the API to things like Pinterest, my Food Network recipe box, anywhere where I'm collecting online recipes, and I just go through and say, I want to have this, 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 and this, and it automatically talks to...
I wouldn't imagine that. Again, I'm not a tech guy, but I wouldn't imagine there'd be any...
Yes, let's do it. We have to do this. I don't know how, but...
I wouldn't imagine that, because again, it's all about algorithms, right? It could even have, again, think Netflix recommendations or Amazon recommendations. Like, it's gonna, if you get to give access to your, you know, social profiles and information, it can say, based on the stuff that you've been looking at this week, you might like this for dinner this week, and it could give you the recipe. Now, the food prep is going to be a little bit more challenging, because then you actually got to bring it in house and handle the food,
right,
and then ship it back out. So that's where I you know, it's like phase 2 is like phase 3 would be to actually have the meal cooked for you. I don't know how you get somebody actually in somebody's house, like preparing the food, because sending a pre-cooked meal is not ideal.
Right.
And then stage 4 would be ultimately figuring out a way to clean up dishes for people.
That would be amazing. So it's Peapod plus Blue Apron plus Kitchen Surfing.
Yeah,
Kitchen Surfing does that.
I don't know what Kitchen Surfing. That's one.
Kitchen Surfing is where you bring in a chef and they prepare everything, they clean everything up, and they leave.
So that exists. Like, there's a place that has like I think like that's way too expensive for like the average person.
It is way too expensive, because that's the person's time. So you're bringing somebody in to cook the meal for you. So yeah, that's like,
let's call, like we talked, you know, that's like 10 years down the road. I don't know how far down the road it is, but that's like ultimate goal is to. And I think really the Trojan horse in this, and the reason that I want to create this idea is because so many people don't want to change. They don't want to eat healthy. They don't want to do things. And a lot of it is just the obstacles that are in their way to actually do it.
Yep.
So, and this is the original idea that I had for this. I've had this for a long time, 2 or 3 years. The idea was, if you could just create a website to where everything that you put in it, it just then gave you back the healthy equivalent. So like call it like
that too.
Food.it or something, you know, right?
Yep.
Like, you know, you go.
So I want to have pizza tonight, but here's the healthy equivalent to pizza.
Well, or even how to make you know, how you get the right flour to make your pizza with, right? Like, you know, so it's like, because the barriers to even know, people don't even know what labels to look for, because labeling is so terrible and deceiving. You know, they just say, I want eggs. So you send them good eggs. I want a chocolate bar. Send them a decent chocolate, right? Or whatever.
Right.
And so then again, assuming this, then they would have, if they wanted to, they could click a go healthy button. And then that would just, you know, kind of give them the proper ingredients that they don't know exist.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
So where are you skeptical?
I think I'm skeptical where I just don't have the understanding of the technology piece of it, because I don't know how you would. I'm sure you can. Somebody who has that expertise could. I mean, from a marketing perspective, it's super easy to sell, because who wouldn't want help creating their grocery list and grocery shopping? Like, I mean, yeah, please. I can't imagine anybody wouldn't want that.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, I'm spending like an hour, 2 hours, you know, going to the grocery store and back. every week. It's like, this is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous amount of time. And then not to mention it's an hour every night getting the meal together.
Yep.
Because I've looked at Blue Apron. I mean, it's actually not, I mean, it's actually pretty cost effective for if you think about what they're doing for you, but they're only sending you 3 meals.
Right.
They're not solving the problem fully because, one, they're only giving you dinner 3 times a week. And then 2, they're not doing the rest of your grocery shopping for you, which is terrible.
And the biggest complaints I've heard about Blue Apron is if you were to do that, yeah, it's saving you money from going out, but if you were to do it for every meal, it costs more than you just going to Whole Foods and buying your groceries there. And Whole Foods is expensive.
That's where I shop. It is expensive, and that's why
I shop too.
That's why Blue Apron to me is a deal, because like I'm gonna save me money because I always get carried away and then I buy too much stuff, and it's like
their guacamole is amazing.
I've never had it. I'll have to try it.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so, but I mean, I buy like cereal and stuff like that at the regular grocery store. But to your point, I mean, the produce is better, the meats are better, everything's better at Whole Foods just from an organic standpoint. But it costs more money, and
being an avid farmers market person as you are, this is a model that never has resonated with me. Like farmers markets are so like speakeasy type things. Like you kind of got to know where they are when they happen. Like they're not like, you know, it's like, I feel like it's demanding way too much of me to know how to get like really, really good vegetables.
Well, and not only that, but you can't get it all year round.
Another annoying. It's like, I'm a creature of habit. And if I can't do it all the time, like I cannot, like just 3 months out of the year, like I'm not interested in it because I need a solution permanently.
Well, I do the CSA. So I get the farmer's package every week from my farmer's market, but it's only, I think it starts in May and it goes through October. So, I mean, I get fresh fruits and veggies for those few months, but I don't get it all year round.
So, because the goal of this was to be making it something that, again, you have Peapod in Chicago and other cities, Philadelphia, I think. You have Fresh Direct in New York, and I think Peapod just went into New York. But it's just basically like if you don't live in like a place a lot of people care about, like Cleveland, then it's hard to get these kind of services. Sure. So this is something that, I would want it to be accessible. Like the whole goal is to help people change their lives and to, just basically disrupt the entire food distribution service if possible. What challenges do you see standing in that? I
think the technology is a challenge. I also wonder if, the Fitbit and like the wearable technology is so big right now. I wonder if you could also connect it to that, where it could say, okay, you need to walk 5,000 more steps today, and your dinner needs to consist of 800 calories or less.
I should write that one down. That's a good one. Because it could, I think the tech pieces, you can probably connect whatever you need to.
I would guess. Oh yeah.
It's unlimited. It's just putting it all together. I think the biggest obstacle in my opinion is you have multiple places where food is stored. You have your pantry-ish.
Right.
You don't know what everyone's pantry looks like. Everyone's fridge is different. And you have spices above the stove sometimes.
Right.
I don't know where people keep their spices, and mine are above the stove. So it's about creating an apparatus that is easy to install, that does not rely on the existing food distributors to change their labeling or packaging in any way, because that's probably a nightmare.
Right.
So it has to be something to basically work off of and recognize already existing packaged food.
I think that's a bigger challenge. See, where I'm stuck is if you go through and you say, okay, I want to have chicken and pasta tonight, and tomorrow night I want to do grilled cheese and tomato soup, and Saturday night I'm going to do lasagna. That's easy to connect those recipes and have it automatically pull out what you need. But then what you have to do is connect that to, what do I already have? Like I already have mozzarella cheese, so don't send me 2 more packages of it.
Right. That's where. So again, the way that I see it, the 3 pieces of tech that you would need to make that happen is a scale to judge how the volume is left, because you might open a box of pasta and it's not all the way used.
Right.
So it's like, is it half full? Is it so? It's a
right.
type of thin, lightweight scale that would need to be installed somewhere, and you need to just be able to recognize the brand. So like, if you could just take a picture of the box itself.
Yep.
So you just need cameras are very small and inexpensive these
Yep.
days, from what
Yep.
the internet tells me. And then, I mean, even then, I mean, if you just had a barcode reader, they've already got barcodes on there, so you just
Yep.
scan it,
Yep.
and it's going to tell you what it is. You might not even need the camera, but I think the camera probably also tells you, like, I think the camera and the scale working together probably is a good thing. So
yeah, and so then when you get your groceries, you just scan everything into your
scan it into your
inventory.
pantry, yeah.
Yep. I like it.
What would you do differently? I wanted you to be a little more hostile. I wanted you to be a little more angry.
I know. I'm sorry. I like the idea, though. I mean, I do think that technology is a challenge, and getting people to adopt it might be a challenge, just because it's changing the way that we are accustomed, like for generations, are accustomed to doing our shopping.
You didn't bat an eye at it. So let's take you as an example. I mean, what would you be willing to go through to actually install that in your home?
Oh, I would totally do it. But that's a big challenge between that and laundry. If you can figure out the laundry piece of it, I'm in. I hate freaking laundry.
I think laundry is probably easier. I was thinking about that too, in the quest of, I guess this can fall under one parent company of taking, like chores off your list thing. But I think, like I said, I think most people actually getting it installed into the home is the biggest obstacle. So you say, all right, so it has to be something that just, you put it in, you connect it to your Wi-Fi, and it's like, it's done.
Yeah. I mean, we do that all the time. You've got the Amazon Echo, you have a security system, whatever you have. I mean, automatic lights, whatever. People are installing that stuff all the time. So I don't think that's a huge barrier to entry. I think the bigger issue is the buying behavior, because for generations you've gone to the grocery store.
Well, and so here's so a bit from a PR standpoint too. Let me hit you on this. So like, let's say you send somebody the wrong thing, right? Let's say it messes up. You get this instead of that. Somebody's dinner is ruined. Would you have to go as far as, if we send you the wrong thing, it's on us?
Probably, yeah.
Like,
I mean,
backing your technology, like,
yeah,
we're fully confident in it. Like, if we screw up, we're going to pay for it, and you get to keep it.
Yeah.
Is that by itself, assuming the technology is ironed out relatively decent, would that be a move that would sink the profitability of the company?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because I mean, if the technology is where it's supposed to be, you're probably not going to have that very often. And you are going to have people who game the system and say, well, I wanted this instead of that. And so then you're going to have to decide. Like, we have a client who the first 2 times they will refund or replace. But if you come back a third time, they're not going to do it, because there are people that's what they do, is they try to game that kind of system.
Yeah. So then the biggest challenge here, and I've never actually pulled the plug on like a delivery service, is like actually getting the stuff out there, like the actual transportation in a timely manner for the fresher ingredients.
Drones.
Like, I'll have to go talk to my drone guy and see what kind of fleet.
Yeah, because you're gonna have to have facilities and probably trucks, at least for now, right, to deliver it all.
Well, see, the goal initially would be to start with the pantry, because it's all stuff that is
Uber.
Uber what?
You could use Uber.
Use an Uber driver?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds expensive.
No, because they just launched Uber Delivers or Uber Eats. I can't remember what they're calling it, but it's a delivery system where they'll go and pick up stuff for you.
Well, see, my goal was to start. The goal would be to start in the pantry first, because nothing's time sensitive. So
right.
If you get it installed into the pantry first,
yep.
Change the behavior for the pantry for the stuff that's all dried and it's not going to spoil. You can use UPS. You can use Amazon. It's a system that's fast and efficient as it is. You don't have to recreate the wheel. And then from there, I move into the refrigerator, to where you get into fresh meats and cheeses and all that stuff.
Yep.
But
it'd be amazing to go, you know what? There's only enough milk for 1 more bottle, so you better get some more milk.
Wait, say that to me one more time.
There's only enough milk in this gallon for 1 more bottle. You're going to be screwed in the morning, so get some more milk. That'd be amazing if it could do that.
Well, see, that's the thing. The milk would already be on your doorstep in that morning.
Exactly. Because how many times if you had to go to the grocery store in the middle of the night because you're out of milk?
Because by the time you realize it, it's too late.
Right.
The goal is that it's going to realize it.
So you don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the technology and the delivery is probably are the two biggest hurdles.
So I guess let's grade this then. Like, is this like, where does this fall on your scale of like viability?
Well, I'm no Shark Tank, but I would definitely buy it.
So I guess maybe not buying it, but let me tell you, I mean, actually like going, like, is this something for somebody not, maybe that, is it for the busy executive, or does the busy mom that's, doesn't drive a 2015 BMW?
You're crossing interviews right now.
Well, we can do that. That's my show. I'm assuming they watch them all.
I think it's for anybody, I mean, I'm sure there are even people who aren't busy executives who don't like that piece of it, that would love to have it. I mean, Thomas Friedman in the New York Times like a month ago was talking about how the economy is changing. And it's sort of to your point that Gary Vee says, where you're giving people back time, but you never thought that you would rent out a room or rent out your car. You can be an Uber driver, you can do Airbnb, you can do all these kinds of things where you're making money just based on your lifestyle. The same kind of thing. If you can give people back time, none of us like to clean. None of us like to grocery shop. That's not true. My mom likes to grocery shop. But like, I don't think people really enjoy those sort of mundane tasks that we have to do all the time. And if you can make it super easy for them. Now, granted, there is a population that's not going to work for.
Right. I would say that's the minority, though. Those enthusiasts,
I would say so.
Those are the people that are in the very, very slim minority, because they're already doing it and they're not complaining. And like half the country is overweight now. So
true.
All right. Well, I think that was kind of fun. I think that went well. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and we should do it.
Well, I will send you over an investment proposal.
Awesome.
And so the idea that I'll tease this out in case you want to come back, because I'm probably going to talk about with somebody else too. But I don't think I think we can have multiple people talk about the same idea. And we've gone back and forth on this for a long time. But I think corporate America, or I guess businesses and especially the media, are going to be the secondary education of the future. And I would if you had a business that was designed to make that transition for people, and or if businesses would actually put their chips to the table and actually do it. Because I know I'd much rather have a PR degree from Spin Sucks than Walsh University.
And I'd much rather you have a PR degree from Spin Sucks than. As
I described it to Ryan Hanley as a minor league system for your workforce.
Huh. We should do this all the time.
I've got tons of these, so this is what
I
think.
That's awesome.
That's what. So we're gonna we'll challenge each guest as they come on. But I'm glad that you were ambitious enough, or that's not the right word. Curious enough. I don't know. Whatever my English is failing me at the moment.
I'm a fan of the automated delivery system.
You're willing enough to come in and have this conversation with me and kind of test these business ideas. But Ginny, since you've been so gracious to debate this fun little idea with me, where can people actually go take part in your real business if they might need it?
Spinsucks.com.
Is that it? Just Spin Sucks? That's you're always just a one-liner.
I'm a one-liner, yeah. Well, everything's there. All our socials there. Everything you want is there. It's all there.
And read the Spin Sucks book too.
Yeah, I mean, you can buy the book and read it.
They don't know it's there. They might not know
it's all there on spinsucks.com. If you go to spinsucks.com, you will see everything there.
All right. Well, I will let you plug. I won't get in the way of you plugging your stuff. Ginny, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure as always. And
always good to see you.
I will let you get out of here. Take it easy, everybody.